Hi, you guys, learners of anatomy. Welcome. This summer, we're going to learn a lot about what makes up your body and how it works. The class is fundamentally structured quite simply. If you look at it, how you integrate the information, how you work with it, you're going to watch videos. And then, secondarily, you're going to integrate the information by looking at the booklets, these things that I made you buy. And then thirdly, you take notes in them, you work with that, and then thirdly, what we're gonna do, there we go. Thirdly, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through questionnaires that I also made up right here, and you got those as well. And you're going to read through those. I written paragraphs explaining everything again, and then at the end there's a question, and that way you marinate it and put it into that head up here, all that information. We also going to have a few other activities that we do during the weeks. First week we do some discussion forums where you integrate some concepts, which I actually also have written in the booklet, so you can work on those while you're out. The cool thing about discussions is you can use audio, video. You don't have to type. It's very nice. And then once we get into the material that we need to integrate the anatomy terms, which is week 2 forward, we're gonna start using labeling and coloring picture things that I made. I made all these here. Look, you can see here. See right here. Right, these are the things in here. So in there you have a couple of lists, and you have these lists that have all the terms, and then inside the list you have these anatomy pictures, and you label the terms on the list, and you color what I want you to label, what it pertains to. So that way, again, you get the information right into the head, and it's easy peasy to get it through the day or through the semester. You just have to keep up with the work and not be too behind it. Also, the way I grade these things is I use a complete or non-complete grading scheme. So I either give you none of the points if it's not finished yet, or I give you all of the points if it is finished and completed. And then you can do all of that stuff outside in the park where it's nice, because for the most part you integrate the information all right in here in the package you have. You then transfer the questions onto the discussion forums onto the online platform, or you do it already on the online platform. You could do that too. And then the same with the coloring and items, you upload that onto the platform as well. And then lastly, I have 3 tests, and the 3 tests, they're more like your summative adjustment. Like, they don't help you marinate it. They test the material that we've gone through. And there are 3 of them. They're not cumulative. They're open book, so that should be all right for you guys. So if you organize your material well, you should do well. And I show you online there where you can really get started in a good way with that. The first test is a multiple choice true false. And then the second test is where I point to model structures, and you will you will choose them from those lists that you have here, and you will type in to the computer in a blank space of what I'm pointing to. So that should be all right. And then the third test is a accumulation of those 2 previous ones. So again, if you organize yourself well, you should be okay. So if you look at the material, from the booklet's perspective, you can go right in here. Pages, you have pictures, you have a little bit of text. I've taught many different anatomy classes and many different textbooks, and I've sort of took the essence and sort of extracted that and put it in these things. And then I got these barcodes. You could see those, and those goes to videos that I made, and they integrate the information. I made a couple of versions. I made a version in the classroom, which is kind of cool pre-COVID. I put up a microphone in front of my face, just did it. And then I also made a version into the computer where I spoke into the computer. And so that's pretty neat. Well, you know what? Let's just go right to the online situation. Let me just flip over here. There we go. And let's see. Yes, look at that. We are online, I think. So if you get into Canvas, which of course you gotta do, first of all, is you get to the home page. So you get to a dashboard, you click into anatomy class, and then you go to a home page. If you can't see the home page, click on home here. It goes to this. You see a little introduction, a little video. Actually, this video will be up here later. And then you see here a few buttons that go to stuff. This one goes to the syllabus. This one goes to an introduction Zoom. Every Monday from 10 to 11, we make a Zoom, and then I upload that, and this one goes to the first one. So if somebody misses the first one, they need to know how the class works and all of that. Because first Zoom, a lot of introduction stuff, a lot of like, how does it go? We go through it, you ask questions, and we do make sure you're comfortable with everything. You want to be comfortable with everything. It should be a nice experience. And then I have some study tools. We'll see those in a second. That tab, and then a group study group. Zoom link is one where you can go on or meet. It's always open, so it's a meeting room online, and so you can do that. Or I can go meet you up there too, and we can do some study group stuff and stuff like that. Kind of nice. All right, then let's just get into it. So we'll click here, and we get right to the course material. That's really the main meat and potatoes of everything. You see here, there's these categories or these tabs, and one of these tabs is called the module in Canvas. And most of them, they're organized by week. I open the first week here that we can analyze a little bit. The first one is a learning tools. You want to learn a little bit about how you can marinate anatomy terms in the brain real nice and that kind of stuff. So I talk a lot about flashcards in here, obviously. We have an activity with that is kind of cool. We'll also talk first week about it. Just that way you're prepared to do the studying. Oops, I went back to the homepage. We want to go to modules here. We can go through the whole thing in here too. It says modules. You don't have to go through the homepage ever. And then the second one is an orientation module where it talks about who am I, what did I do before, how to contact me, how I talk to you. We talk a little bit about diversity. Is important for me that we don't have biases on each other as an online class. We also talk a little bit about an etiquette thing, how to talk to each other, and then a syllabus, etc., etc. And then we get right into the first week here, and each inside a weekly module is organized by introduction, learning, apply, lots of apply, lab, same thing, kind of thing, and then a wrap up at the end. So the first one here is where we put the weekly Zoom recording. So I post that here so you can review it later in case you miss it. Or so. It's not mandatory, but it's not required, but it's, you should if you can come to it. And then the second page shows you objectives. That shows you what we're doing this week, what activities you have, how many points, when the due dates are, etc. So that's pretty self-explanatory. There, you don't really need to look at that, but it's good to sort of have a place. It's like a table of content kind of thing. And then we have the material, and it's the same as in the booklet, except in the booklet you have all the pictures and everything explained. And so here you have videos. They're just linked right through here. You have the ones that I talk into the computer, and then you have the ones in the classroom. So you hear them in the classroom. And then below that, I have all the most important points with bullets explained again. So that's kind of cool that way. And then after you've gone through that, then you go through the questions. And the questions are laid behind here in this thing where you see this rocket going up. These are questions. And in each of the questions, the cool thing is, so you have those in the paper, but then you transfer them in here, and each of them has a video explaining them. So if you feel like, I don't know quite, or I feel a little lazy this way or this day, because you should probably do like a chapter a day almost in the summer, then you can watch that video and you can do the questions while you do that. Plus, you can take them over and over again. There's no time limit for them as well. And so that's just helping you make most of the material. And, if you look at them, they're like this kind of looking thing. I write something and then you have a question at the end. So it's that kind of stuff. How do we marinate the material into the brain? And then after that, we have these couple of discussions. In the first week, we have a couple. And then we also have a labeling coloring. This is the emoji for those. We'll get more of those. But again, I showed you already in the booklet a little bit. And then at the end, each week, we finish up with a reflection. So that's in a wrap-up section. And the reflection is a Padlet that I want you to write something that was, made great sense, or something that is like, I still don't get it. And then somebody else can help you with that. I go through them. I also helps me understand what to do better in the class. So be honest, write stuff. I'm not gonna, judge you on that. It's about completion on this stuff, and then it presents it in sort of a visually pleasing way that is helpful. And then the other thing, the wrap up I have is basically a list of what we've done, but then also a further load of resources. And one of the ones here that's cool is this link to another textbook, and then the UC Berkeley link with this superstar anatomy person, Marianne Diamond, that used to even have Einstein's brain. So she's really cool and she lectures. So if you're really goofy and into this kind of stuff, a little nerdy about it, check her out. Get a couple of lectures and look at that. That's really cool stuff. And then when we get to the tests, we have 3 tests. I told you already before. The important thing right now I want to point out is the review. So I have really good reviews in here. Well, good is to be determined by you guys, but detailed reviews where every point that I want you to know for the test has a bullet. So you can reverse engineer and go back and do that first and say, hey, if I understand all these points, if I read through the booklets, if I go through the videos, then I know I'm prepared for the test. Because the test's open book. So you just basically at that point, go and review the material. I also give you plenty of time. That way, we're not really punishing you. I really want you to mold the material more and more into your brain cells. All right. So if that is all I have, hopefully it's fairly easy peasy. Oh, where's the emoji? There it is. And if you have a question, easy. Just shoot me a text. We can talk on the phone. Oops, there's the phone. I don't have that thing yet ready fully. I'm working on it. All right, I'll see you soon. Take care. And hey, if you haven't gotten the booklets yet, we'll figure it out this week, okay? I can ship them to you, or else I'll open a few times. Take care. Bye-bye.